a long Christmas and this lockdown. We're about day 3 in, right?
Lockdown was on Boxing Day. What's today? The 28th? Yeah, third day of lockdown. Um,
What?
any gifts that you got that you want to tell the fans about?
Well, before you start talking about your balls, I'll mention some things. I got a Switch and a Series S, so I'm a little bit. I'm good to go through this lockdown a little bit. I mean, I got the new NBA Next Generation.
Nice.
Graphics are okay. I feel like with game systems, you don't see the jump from like PS2 to
Right.
PS3. Like it's not a big jump like it used to be, but it's still cool. I'm just playing some Luigi's Mansion now on that Switch, feeling like a kid. But yeah, went well. Do you want to talk about your balls or show them?
Yeah. So I got the Derek Lewis. My balls are hot for Christmas.
He's
And by
literally
that
showing
I
us
mean
balls right now.
a 20-pound slam ball to go along with a pull-up bar and an ab wheel.
They're nice and black.
Big black, beautiful round balls. No problems here.
Absolutely. I do want to shout out to some fans that I noticed. So every week we got some people that I know watch our show constantly. So we got Aiden. Shout out to Paul. Uh, Brian. I'm not going to say their last name except for Danny B. He always
Burnham.
comments and gives his opinion. So it's always good to see these people come back and watch. So
Yeah.
we love your opinions. So shout out there. So let's get into it.
Yeah, before we get into it, guys, like, share, subscribe. Please help us push this shit. So for 2021, we want to make the show even bigger and better for you guys. So just keep liking and sharing our content, and we'll do our part.
Yeah, and your Instagram's growing really well. Like I've noticed. I don't know how you keep up to date with it so well. Uh, Shout out to you.
All right, thanks, bro. Okay, so you take the lead on this. Where we going?
So we're gonna talk about some. Are we gonna really start off with talking about the Paul brothers again?
We have to. We have to. They keep staying
YouTube
in the news.
boxing hashtag has to die. But now we got Ben Askren fighting Jake Paul.
Yeah,
Probably the worst hands in all of MMA.
yeah,
Like I just don't understand. Like, fight someone who actually stands up. Now he can say he beat an MMA fighter because the fact is he probably will beat Ben Askren. Ben
right.
Askren has the worst hands I've seen. Watching him fight Damian Maia was horrible striking. And it sucks 'cause he's probably going to get demolished.
So apparently, Jake Paul sent out offers to one-eyed Mike Bisping and no hands Ben Askren, two retired mixed martial artists. Um, Bisping's got good hands. Like if he fought Bisping, even with one eye, I think Bisping gives him problems. He knocks him out early. I think Bisping would knock him out.
Oh, I think Bisping would destroy him.
But that being said, it looks like the Askren fight is the one that they're going forward with. If you
Mm,
don't know about Ben Askren, he's an Olympic wrestler. I think he's a two-time Hodge Trophy winner, national champion, NCAA Division One. Amazing fighter, amazing wrestler. He's not a boxer. He doesn't want to be in the squared circle. He doesn't know the sweet science.
yeah.
Go watch his highlights. Go watch his most recent fight with Damian Maia. It's bad. But that being said, I don't think Jake Paul accepted the contract. Apparently, they sent the contract to Ben Askren. So this is from Ben Askren's Instagram. He signed it, and Jake Paul hasn't signed yet. So it's still up in the air if it's going to happen. But I don't think it should happen. I think Ben Askren gets violently knocked out.
Yeah, I would love to see him fight. Like, it could be another Jorge Masvidal moment for him. Maybe Ben Askren's like, hey, let's go make some big money. I've been knocked out in the worst way already. Let's go do it again. So,
I mean, if the money's right, take it, man. It's a business move. It doesn't take away from his MMA career. He still did what he did. You can't take this one championship title and his Bellator title away from him. But it's going to be viral. I hope he wins. This will be the one time I've ever gone for Ben Askren. I hope he wins. But I just don't see it happen.
yeah, I love the funky one. I've always been a fan of him. I think he's a MMA Hall of Famer, not a UFC Hall of
Yeah,
Famer. But
yeah.
so get that right when people judge me right now, MMA Hall of Famer, which they should have. Um, he's done great things, but he's just has the worst striking I've ever seen. So I
Right.
just don't want to.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay. So we're rolling on here. We got Canelo Alvarez looking to make a quick turnaround.
against
He's
his
now the
training partner, right?
no against the top 10 guy, not the guy we want to see him fight in Avni Yildirim, but he's a top 10 guy. I think his only loss is to Anthony Durrell. So someone correct me if I'm wrong, but he's got a good resume, good record, top 10 guy, and the WBC just throwing the mandatory at him. What can you do?
You know what? You get to see Canelo have a quick turnaround, so it's actually good for the fans. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. Would you rather sit him on the sidelines, or would you rather see him fight?
Right. So
So
that's exactly it. You make a good point. If it wasn't for him having this quick turnaround, we'd have to wait till May. Because when he fights in May, he fights in September. Those two Mexican big fight weekends. He's going to have 3 fights. He's doing his mandatory now. Then hopefully we get the Billy Joe Saunders or Caleb Plant fight next. Then maybe Golovkin at the end of the year. I'm okay with it.
absolutely, I'd rather the Golovkin before the Billy Joe because age just doesn't go on Golovkin's side to push it sooner. But I would like to see that fight next for sure. But it's good to see him fight fast.
Yeah, and Canelo's trainer is open to the Golovkin fight. He just says Golovkin has to meet him at 168, and I don't see a problem with that.
No, absolutely not.
All right.
But we do actually have some fights this weekend in boxing, and it's nice to see because this last weekend, even though it was Christmas, I still missed the fights. Like I missed having some kind of fights on. So we got the one and only up and coming Ryan Garcia coming off a first round knockout. I'm pretty sure violent
Yep.
knockout, and he is fighting an actual challenger in Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell is a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's put up a good fight against Lomo. He had a split decision, so he's fought for the ring belt and I forget what the other belts twice.
Linares. He lost to Linares.
Yes, but that was a split decision. So he makes fights close. He doesn't make fights. So if anyone's going to bring the fight to Garcia, it's going to be Campbell.
Right. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered here. Ryan Garcia, he's starching guys early. He's doing what he's supposed to do with his competition. So we haven't really seen the other wrinkles to his game. So there could be a lot of questions answered here. If Garcia makes it a fight, which if you know Luke Campbell's going to make it a fight. He's very technically sound. He's gold medalist, Olympian gold medalist. But that being said, Luke Campbell doesn't have adjustments. Luke Campbell does the basics very well, but doesn't really get out of that wheel well. He stays in that lane. So I think if Garcia can outlast the early, the just kind of understand, figure him out early, first 5 or 6 rounds, he should get him out of there late. That's my opinion.
I have to agree with you. I think he'll take him out in probably the 10th round. I'm going to say 10th round. It's going to be a later fight. I think Ryan Garcia has been stopping guys in the 5th, first, like earlier, but I think this fight will go longer into the 10th. He'll stop him there. And this is going to be the fight that will get us talking even more about Ryan Garcia. And it'll get him to a jump to a different part, like into a better place in his career where he can start getting bigger fights with Davis and Lomo and stuff like that.
If he wins this fight, that's a better name at lightweight than Tank has, than Haney has. It'd be pretty sick. It would give him the same win as Vasily Lomachenko. So this puts him in the top 5 for sure if he beats Luke Campbell.
Absolutely. If he loses, what does that do to his career? That being said, he's only 22 years old, but he has so much hype around him, right? It's not the fact that if he loses, if someone who wasn't as hyped as him lost, they could live into another day and still become something. It's just there's so much hype around him, right? That even though he's 22, people don't really clue into that.
If he loses, I think he goes up to 140. I think 135. He says he makes it easily, but the dude's 5'11". He's almost 6 feet tall, fighting at 135 pounds. He can't make it that much longer.
No, it's scary. So he has to do quick work. So he needs these big wins while he's still young, so he can make 135 for sure.
Exactly. So he can get that title and move out of that division, so he can just keep claiming titles, kind of like Oscar De La Hoya did. Who happens
Absolutely, and Manny.
And Manny.
So we don't know where Ryan Garcia will be at 29 years old when he's fully developed. He could be an all-star.
I'm very impressed with him. People think I'm crazy, but Ryan Garcia, I had him as like the top prospect over Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo stepped his level up by beating Lomachenko. Let's see what 2021 does for Ryan Garcia.
Could you imagine if he won and we got Teofimo versus Ryan Garcia?
Dude, sign me up for that. That would be crazy.
Great fight. I'd pull for Lopez because I'm a Lopez fan. I called the upset on that Lomo fight. Just saying, I said unanimous decision on that one. Danny Berman said I'm crazy. If there's only way that Lopez is going to win, it's going to be by knockout. I called decision, and what happened?
It was split decision. No, it was unanimous. No, it was unanimous. Yeah.
And I should have put money down.
You would have made good money back. I would think it's 4-1 underdog.
For sure. All right, but we do have a little bit of MMA this week. Not too much UFC, but we're going to talk about that card. But first, we got some news of Anthony Pettis signing with
PFL.
PFL. PFL's looking strong lately.
Yeah. So in this offseason, they've gotten Rory McDonald, Fabricio Verdun. They signed Clarissa Shields. They got Kayla Harrison still there, and now they
Yeah.
got Anthony Pettis. So like, I will definitely be tuning into the 2021 season.
And they also got Lance Palmer. I'm just going to shout that
Yeah.
out there. One of the underrated featherweights in the world.
Light
Big fan.
lightweight.
Is he lightweight there?
Yeah, he's a lightweight.
Okay, but he's still one of the best in the world that gets no recognition. Either way, PFL's looking stacked. I mean, Pettis should be in there and takes business pretty easy in the lightweight division, but you never know. There's a lot of fighters that we don't know of that come and beat people like Eddie Alvarez. Like Eddie Alvarez got upset. So we don't know these fighters doesn't mean they're not good fighters.
So what does this do for? Also, fact check me, guys. If I'm wrong on Lance Palmer being the lightweight, I'm pretty sure he is, but I could be wrong as well. So fact check. But also, what does this do for Anthony Pettis' career if he's WEC, UFC, and PFL champion? In my opinion, it doesn't do as much for him as if he had went to Bellator and got the Bellator strap. But he would have to go through. Right, but he'd have to go through Pitbull to get that, and I don't see that happening. So PFL kind of makes sense, especially with the $1 million payday at the end.
Absolutely. I think he goes for PFL and then he does a John Fitch and signs with Bellator at the end of his career. I think he will have success. I don't know if he'll win the tournament in PFL, but either way, I was reading online, is he a Hall of Famer? I agree and say yes, he is. He's beaten up Charles Oliveira. He's defended the belt. He's beaten Wonder Boy, which is crazy win. A little bit upset. He wasn't winning that fight, but he still won it by dramatic fashion, and he's beat Gilbert, Donald twice. Like his resume is unbelievable. Definitely a Hall of Famer.
100%. Not to mention the Showtime kick. He's on a Wheaties box. Beat Benson Henderson twice. I mean, I don't know what else you got to ask this guy. He's had some tough losses, but he's had some huge wins. So
entertaining always.
Exactly. That's what happens when you're fighting the best time and time again.
Absolutely. We do have a fight this weekend. Let's get into that. One of the fights that I'm most excited for, and you're excited for, it's more like your boy versus one of my boys. We got Horiguchi fighting Kai Asakura. Sorry, couldn't even pronounce it well. But I'm a big fan of Kai. He beat Horiguchi first round knockout back in 2019 or 2018. I'm not too sure what year it was.
New Year's Eve 2019, a year ago.
Okay, so it's coming to one of those things where Horiguchi, was he just caught in that fight? We don't know. Kai hits hard. If you're going to tune into a good fight, I feel like this is going to be a good fight. I do have Horiguchi upsetting with a unanimous decision. I think he's going to fight smarter, and he's not going to keep his chin up in the air and get caught this time. I do have Kai losing this fight, and we might get a trilogy.
So this is the thing. Back in their first fight, it was a non-title fight, but Horiguchi at the time was the Bellator and Rizin bantamweight champion. He loses that fight by first round knockout, and then he's forced to give up his 2 belts because he went under a knee surgery. So he's coming back after a long layoff, a loss, a knee surgery. So a loss for him again would be 2 in a row. It'd be pretty detrimental. But on the flip side, Asakura, he's also coming off of a loss. I think he got knocked out by Manel. But it was a knockout, right?
I'm pretty sure it was a knockout. It was a trilogy fight, or I know it was their second fight. I think it was their second fight. But in a shout out to this, Manel Cape, I think he's going to be the flyweight champion. He'll be the one to beat Dave Figueiredo. He's the guy he just signed with UFC. He's starting off fighting with the top 5 guy from the UFC. And I just watch this guy. He'll be the breakout star for me in 2021.
Yeah, so Manel Cape lost to Kai Asakura in their first fight, but doesn't matter. Manel Cape won the most recent fight. So if Asakura loses this fight, that's a 2-fight losing streak for him. So this is a big crossroads fight for both of them. Asakura is a lot younger. I think he's 25, 26. Horiguchi's 29, I believe. So they're both right in the midst of their primes. This is a big deal because if Horiguchi wins this fight, I believe this is for the bantamweight title. I believe it is.
Yes.
Yeah. So if he wins this fight, he'll be the Rizin champion again, and he should get the shot back at Juan Archuleta, which is an amazing fight.
Absolutely. I would love to see him back in the Bellator cage. I think Horiguchi's always had the biggest potential out of a lot of people leaving UFC. I thought they let him go too early. I think he just decided not to sign, honestly. I don't remember the situation. But the guy has always been, he has like 28-3, something like that. He has a crazy record. He's only lost once since losing to Demetrius way back, and we get to see the rematch.
So if you guys aren't excited for this fight, or didn't know about this fight, this is a huge fight. Horiguchi, I think, is a slight favorite, I believe, going into it. But like we said, he got knocked out. I'm taking Horiguchi by unanimous decision. I think he fights a lot smarter, and I think he gets it done.
Absolutely. I got Horiguchi by a unanimous decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way.
Right. All right, guys. Anything else you want to add, Brady, before we get out of here?
No, just that everyone had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. Stay safe. Don't get too drunk in your own bedroom, eating ice cream. You know, Marshall's gonna play with his balls.
Find yourself a good, a nice black ball and slam it off the ground.
And don't get a double chin like me.
All right, guys. Stay safe. We're out.
All right, we're out.